Well, it's day 33, and unlike the sheriff and the Guthries, I'm sad to say I don't think Nancy is still alive. Mostly because we know she was already injured quite seriously very early on. Whoever is responsible for this knew they left behind video evidence and probably didn't want to leave behind any additional evidence, and that includes Nancy herself.
I got nightmares in my head, I fear. Thoughts build up until I can't feel. My mind fills up into a creature, and it haunts me somewhere much deeper. I got nightmares in my head, I fear.
So what is going to be the next major milestone in this case? Well, what I think will be the next major milestone will be the discovery of human remains somewhere outside, possibly in a shallow grave. Then the next step will be trying to find evidence on those human remains, including time of death, manner of death, cause of death, and any additional evidence, fibers, DNA, footprints, tire tracks, all that sort of thing. That sort of surround that area where the human remains are found. And then we will be back to asking the same question we've been asking all along. Who did this and why? Now, of course, it's possible that the investigation is so far advanced, and I think someone made the comment that it's white hot or something like that, red hot, that it's possible that the suspect might be apprehended and then they will then, I guess, be interrogated on where is Nancy. So that's another way that this case could be resolved. And so I guess the question is, what is more likely, that Nancy herself is going to be found, or that the perpetrator is going to be identified and caught? And I tend to gravitate towards the former, because if you think about it, you wouldn't, if you have a dead body in your environment, you're not going to really want it to be near you. You're probably going to want to dispose of it. And as soon as you do that, well, then there's a very good chance that it's going to be found. Now, although a Ring camera picked up vehicles moving through the area late that night, there's also another way to track movement into and out of the area, and that's via cell phone towers. If the cops are able to trace and exclude some of the drivers that night that were in the area, well, that may mean they can track, trace, and include the one in question. And it already appears to be the case that this strategy has been followed and cell phone coordinates are being investigated. Have a look at this post. It is day 30 in the disappearance of Nancy Guthrie, and investigators have now searched a specific set of cell tower coordinates in the Arizona desert looking for a body. It should also be clear now that literally all the ransom notes associated with this case were bogus, are bogus, including all 4 sent to TMZ. TMZ at one point said that they would stop reporting on the contents of the notes to avoid hindering the investigation. Well, I wouldn't be surprised if the authorities actually ordered them to stop reporting on the notes. And what this shows is just how easily ransom notes can and have duped people investigating a particular case. Another good example of a bogus ransom note that still confuses people today is, of course, the Ramsey ransom note. As soon as you have a bogus ransom note, you actually have multiple motives. You have the motive from the actual crime and then the motive from the imposter, and it's important not to confuse the two. Now I'd like to ask you guys a question. What do you think will be the next major milestone in this case? Do you think they're going to find human remains? Do you think they're going to actually catch the suspect before they find their human remains? Or do you think this case is going to go cold and it's going to end up being an unsolved case? Also, I'm sure some of you have heard that the DNA found on that glove that was 2.5 miles from Nancy Guthrie's house, that DNA has come back to a restaurant worker, so that is yet another dead end. Now, the good thing about dead ends is that is evidence that you can kind of put aside, and every time you do that, you are getting closer to the actionable evidence. So it's not the end of the world if you discover that a lead doesn't take you anywhere. Every time that happens, you are going in the right direction. You are aware, for example, that this lead is not credible and not going to help you solve the case. And that is certainly by a process of exclusion, a process of elimination, essentially getting you where you want to go. By the way, I just came across a theory that was published on News Nation where someone was saying something about a grandson. Perhaps a grandson might be in the neighborhood that has some knowledge that's been talking about this for a protracted period of time. Now, I'm not sure if that's a reference to Nancy Guthrie's grandson, but if that's the case, does she have any idea how young these grandchildren are? They're little children. Also, I notice we're on day 30-something of this case, and I notice people are still trying to implicate the son-in-law. And are those people just unaware of the fact that Annie's vehicle has been returned and that the sheriff has explicitly said that no member of the family is a suspect in this case? And so do people simply just ignore that? And now I want to share with you one of the most disgusting, I'm not sure even what to call it, but this really disgusted me. It reads like a news article, and clearly it is manufactured and it is completely inauthentic. Listen to this. I found this on Facebook. Breaking. The search for missing grandmother Nancy Guthrie has reached a devastating conclusion with the arrest of her own son-in-law. Authorities confirmed that Nancy died from blunt force trauma discovered just miles from her home after a hiker's tip led search teams to her body. Now, if you're listening to this and growing alarmed or triggered, let me just reiterate, this is all fake news. Someone just invented this. And it reads like a legitimate story, a factual story, but it's, of course, completely made up. This was posted a day ago. By the time you listen to it, it'll be 2 days ago. What began as a $6 million Bitcoin ransom plot has been exposed as a clumsy cover-up for a cold-blooded murder fueled by greed. Tommaso Cioni, a local biology teacher with no prior record, now faces charges. All of that is baloney. The Guthrie family, who held on to hope for 9 long days, is now grappling with the reality that a trusted relative is behind the tragedy. This is all completely manufactured drivel, implicating someone just for clicks, just for online currency. And I must say, for a few moments when I read this, I literally Googled Nancy Guthrie because I thought that this news had just broken. And clearly, none of this is true. And what is interesting is in the text it says the family held on to hope for 9 long days. So this actually came out, I guess, on day 9 when someone was just trying to get clout and content. And it really didn't bother them to just lie about it and make things up. And this I find extremely disturbing, is that in true crime, you have such liars, manipulators, opportunists, grifters, just a whole circus of very questionable people. A lot of people that have questionable morals that are leading a lot of other people to believe certain things. And I really put the blame with you guys, obviously not you specifically, but collectively the true crime community, who ought to hold people like this to a higher standard. I don't think I saw a single comment to that particular post on Facebook saying this isn't true or holding them responsible. Basically, everyone who read this believed it. It's just disgusting, but it's only going to change, this kind of manufactured indignation and basically what I refer to as fake crime. It's only going to go away if you guys oppose it and call these creators out for low standards. Anyway, if you come across anything that is equally objectionable, please let me know in the comments. I do think that the Guthrie family ought to be made aware of this sort of thing, because this post in particular is blatantly defamatory. In any event, I'm not going to take it further than that. Thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys next time.